Hello everyone, I'm back with another wear test today. As you can see by the title, we have quite a few products to test out. Some I received in PR, so we've got the Makeup Forever HD Skin Hydra Glow Foundation. I also have the Fenty Beauty Wear Even Hydrating Concealer, and also the Milk Makeup new Cooling Water Jelly Tint blushes that are viral everywhere. And I got this sent to me from Lancome. Thank you so very much. I'm very appreciative of this. It's basically their mascara, their Tint Idôle mascara, and also their liquid eye blusher. So we're going to be reviewing all of this today. So let's begin. I've already done my skincare and I've also applied some primer. This is the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base Primer. I always use that under foundation, especially if I'm doing a wear test. I'm going to start off with the foundation. I'll have the timestamps down below if you want to skip to a certain part. I just want to say this and get this out of the way. This is technically not my first impressions because it is my second time filming this video. The first time the audio was buzzing in the background, so it just was bad audio altogether. I could not salvage it no matter what. So I already have an idea about how I feel about the products, but for you guys, we're going to pretend that it is my first time, okay? Beginning with the foundation, it comes in your standard cardboard box. Inside you have the actual glass bottle, very sleek, and you can see the product very clearly. Personally, I prefer the clear bottles instead of the frosted bottles because I can see the shade. It's easier to match when you're, when you don't have samples and you're in the store. This is meant to be more of that hybrid sort of foundation, skincare and foundation in one. They say it has 86% skincare ingredients in it, so very similar to the NARS Light Reflecting and also the MAC Studio Radiance foundation. This is available in 32 shades. I picked up the shade 2 and 26 Sand. I'm gonna pump this in the back of my hand. All right, so this is what it looks like. It seems that it's a little bit fluid, but it's not as fluid as the NARS Light Reflecting. And if I was to rub this in, it feels very, very thin, almost lotion-like, very much like skincare. It's very cooling on the skin too. I've actually applied a pump onto my BK Beauty 109 brush. It's my favorite brush to apply foundation, so here we go. This matches my neck regardless of this being a neutral undertone. They only had 2 olive shades. One was too light, the other one was too dark. I do feel that Makeup Forever definitely has a gap to fill there. Considering that they are a bigger brand, they've been around for a really long time and they're well established. I don't see why they won't be able to add a few more in between olive shades, so I hope that that is something that they can expand. All right, so this side is with foundation. That one pump covered the entire half of my face. It's a very thin formula. It's evened out my skin. As I mentioned earlier, it just looks and feels extremely thin on my skin. I think it's given me a good medium coverage with that one pump. I don't usually wear more than one pump of foundation unless I'm going out for an event. I feel that it's done a pretty good job in evening out my skin tone. I'm going to finish off this side and give you more details on this product. According to Makeup Forever, this contains Hydra Skin Booster Complex, which is a skin boosting formula and is inspired by skincare sheet masks, and it's supposed to deliver 24 hours of hydration. It's ideal for dry, mature, and sensitive skin, and also visibly improves skin texture and radiance in as little as 4 weeks of use. The light texture melts into the skin and is buildable for an added coverage. However, this is advertised as a medium coverage foundation and it leaves a natural radiant finish. You can also mix this in with a few drops of your favorite hydrating primer or a face oil for a luminous skin tint sheer finish. Now, this is a water-based formula, and other than the hydrating ingredients such as hyaluronic acid that's in here, it also has something called citrus lemon fruit extract, and this is the second ingredient after water on the ingredients list. I did some quick research on it because I wanted to let you guys know exactly what you're signing up for when you buy this product, and I apologize in advance if this is going to get lengthy. You guys can definitely skip this part if you're not interested. Firstly, it's used to induce a skin tightening, so it's meant to be a cosmetic astringent. Secondly, it can be used as perfume, so just to give a nice scent, although that is not citrusy at all. It feels quite chemically, but not in a really bad way. Lastly, it can also be used as a skin conditioning agent as well. I have a little bit of skin flakiness and some dry patches, and it's slightly accentuating it. It's not terrible, but I can see a little bit of texture, which by the way was not there when I first was filming this about 2 or 3 days ago. And it's not a deal breaker for me by any means, but I wanted you guys to see this in case you guys are prone to dry skin and dry patches. But overall, I think skin is skinning. It's looking great. Very nice and radiant. We're going to move on to concealer. All right, so this is the Fenty Wear Even Hydrating Concealer. This is what the package is like. Again, a clear plastic component. You get about 9 milliliters of products, comes in 50 different shades, and I picked up the shade in 240 neutral. And this is not my first impressions. I've already done a first impressions video on this, and I'll actually link it down below or somewhere here on the screen. I'm going to blend this out with the BK Beauty A506 brush. And I'm just going to let you guys watch how easily this blends out. That's real-time blending. I went in with just one layer. I'm going to go in with a second layer just to brighten it up just a little bit more. This reminds me so much of the NYX Bear With Me concealer. This is giving me a nice medium coverage. You can see the difference from this eye to this eye. I'm going to finish off this eye and give you some more details. So Fenty claims that this concealer melts right into the skin, instantly evening, brightening, and hiding dark circles and puffiness for up to 12 hours. It is available in 50 buildable medium coverage shades with a second skin-like finish. Undertones vary from cool, warm, neutral, peach, golden, and olive. It's extremely long-wearing formula that resists creasing, fading, sweat, and humidity. It won't settle into fine lines and accentuate skin texture. It's transfer-proof, waterproof, and 100% cruelty-free. All right, so that is what the under eyes are looking like. I'm going to go in with a bit of powder, and I'm using my favorite one from Laura Mercier. Okay, so this is with powder. I will say that I have fine lines underneath, so we'll see how this actually wears throughout the day. Okay, I'm excited about this part here. I have seen this all over TikTok and social media. This has gone viral. This is the Milk Cooling Water Jelly Tint, and it's meant to be a cheek and lip tint. I have it in the shade Splash, and this is so cute. It's so chubby and small. This actually reminds me of a popsicle or one of those, you know, those ring pops. It's like a Jello married a ring pop and had a baby. It certainly does stain your hands. I'm going to attempt to apply this directly on my skin. And I've seen that you have to work really fast at it. This is so cooling. That blended out so easily, but it's nice and soft. I'm going to go in and see if I can build it up a little bit more. And I'm using the BK Beauty 113 brush. Okay, right off the bat, I really love how sheer this is. And the fact that it's nice and cooling on the skin, and it just blends out so nicely. It's very thin. If I zoom you guys in, you guys can see that you can still see a little bit of my skin underneath, but it hasn't lifted up any of the product. I'm going to do the other side and give you some more details, but I'm going to do this side with my fingers. So Milk says that this glides on sheer and builds to a vibrant watercolor-like finish that won't melt off midday. The skin-loving jelly texture is packed with vegan collagen, aloe, and seawater to give this innovative formula a refreshing, cooling effect that leaves skin looking healthy and bouncy. And it's available in 4 different shades. So this is the side with the brush. This is what it looks like with the finger. I personally feel that the best way to apply this is with a brush because look at what it did to my fingers. It's definitely staining, which also means that it's going to most likely be long wearing. If you prefer more of a lightweight blush like I do, then you're definitely going to like this because it builds really gradually and it still doesn't look overpowering. It is currently 7:30 in the morning. I am going to start the wear test for the base makeup right now. I'll definitely do a midday check-in and then of course the final check-in at the end of the day. Let's move on to the eyes. Okay, so Lancome was kind enough to send me both of these products, but you know that my opinions are always going to be an honest review. They did send me their Lash Idôle mascara, which I feel is not a new product. I've actually seen this around, but this is a new product. This is their eye tint blush. This is meant for your eyes and also your blush. I feel that the shade might be more like a highlighter on me. So this is what the packaging looks like. It looks really, really pretty and luxe. It is a plastic bottle instead of a glass bottle. And I really like the way the doe foot is. So I'm just going to swatch this in the back of my hand first. Yeah, this is definitely more of like a highlighter shade on me, and I think it's going to blend straight into my skin. I don't have any primer on my eyelids. I want to see how this wears because I think this is supposed to be one of those dry down formulas. And I just like to use my hands for this. I mean my fingers. That's what this looks like. It's a very smooth formula with little tiny, tiny, tiny micro glitters and shimmers. You can barely see the micro glitters though, so it's nice and light and not chunky on the eyes. And this is the type of shade that I mostly gravitate towards anyways, because it's nice and natural on my skin tone. It blends right in. It certainly feels like a quick drying formula, so we'll see how this wears throughout the day. Let's see how this applies as a highlighter. I'm not going to do too much. This is very subtle. Also, I'm using a very teeny tiny amount because I don't really like to put on highlighters too much these days. This is an extremely natural highlighter. Personally, I prefer this for my eyelids instead. I just went ahead with some brown eyeliner. This is the Stay and Play from Essence. And now I'm going to try the mascara. They did send it to me in the shade Black, and I don't believe this is a waterproof version. The formula is a drier formula, and I really, really like the wand. Ignore that little mistake in there, but wow. I really, really like how fluttery this looks. And it's lengthened and added like a little bit of curl. I still don't think it's going to hold the curl all day, but we'll see. I'm going to go in with the second coat. Wow. Volume. I think you guys can see the difference between this eye to this eye. It has volumed, lengthened, sort of fanned out my eyelashes as well. Even with the second coat, it's still feathery and not clumpy. Yes, I do have to pull on my eyelids a little bit to get that nice length and precision. Final look on the mascara before I move on to my lips. Okay, so for my lips, I'm going to use the same Milk blush and tint because it's supposed to be a tint for your lips as well. So I'm just gonna apply it on. I have nothing on my lips. As I apply it, it feels cooling on the lips and it feels wet. But as you guys can see, it's just leaving a nice shine, and it's not sticky. It's not uncomfortable. It's just my lips, but better. And I love the shade. This is a true definition of popsicle lips. All right, guys, I wanted to give you some daylight shots as well, so you guys can see what this is looking in natural light. So I'm very happy with the shade that I picked up when it comes to the foundation. And my makeup is actually looking very, very fresh right now. I'm going to zoom you guys in a little bit so you guys can see my under eyes. I feel like it started to settle into my wrinkles just a little bit, the concealer, but it's not looking bad, or it's not looking cakey or anything like that. It still looks very natural on my skin. Normally, if you have fine lines and you don't do Botox or any fillers, then it is going to settle into the fine lines, and that's very normal for me. When it comes to the eyeshadow, it looks very natural. I actually really, really do like it, but I have many eyeshadows like this. The blush is looking great. Again, very natural application. I don't think you can ever overdo this blush. That's it for the daylight check-in. I will check in with you in a few hours. I need to go start work now. Hi guys, we're back. The time is now 12:15 in the afternoon, and I just wanted to show you what the makeup is looking like. To give you a rundown, the foundation still looks really great. I think now it has adjusted to my skin a lot more. Luminosities come off, but it's not completely oily either. It's still on the mattifying side, considering that this has skincare in it. That's pretty good. Usually foundations tend to get oily on the T-zone. So I'm going to zoom you guys in really close so you guys can see what the concealer is looking like. It has started to settle into my fine lines. Nothing too crazy. I also didn't go too heavy with the powder today. I kept it more on the natural side, so I think that's probably why it's settling into my fine lines a little bit more. Now, when it comes to the blush, I'm very impressed with this blush. Normally, blushes are the first thing to go, but it still looks like as if how it was when freshly applied. The eyes are also pretty decent. I see a little bit of creasing, and with that being said, I'll see you in a few more hours. It's 4 o'clock right now in the afternoon, so I've had this on for 8.5 hours, which I think is a decent time to test out any foundation or makeup. Before getting to the close-ups and my final thoughts on this, let me share with you the prices, because I don't think I shared the prices with you. And I am pretty sure you guys want to know how much of a dent this is going to put in your bank account. The prices, by the way, are in Canadian dollars. I will have the US equivalent on the screen here. The foundation here is going to run you about $63.50 at Sephora. This Milk Jelly Tint is going to cost you about $33. Just, yeah, not bad. Just going to touch it up a little bit because it has faded. The Lancome mascara and the eye tint blusher is going to cost you $40.50 each. They're both priced the same. And finally, the Fenty concealer is going to run you a whopping $40.90. And the reason why I say a whopping $40.50 is because the Fenty Pro Filter foundation, the full size, and the Ease Drop Blur Skin Tint, also the full size, is ranging between $45 to $49 for 32 milliliters. And this little guy is only 9 milliliters. I don't know why concealers are practically the same price as foundations. I cannot wrap my head around it. I don't think it needs to be. And that is probably my major con these days with any of the foundations and concealers that are high end, including like even this. It's like 60, 62, how much was it? $63.50. And I understand there's a little bit of skincare in here and all that jazz, but I don't think even a high-end foundation needs to cost anywhere above 50 bucks. So I just want to get this rant out of the way. I'm not here to shove products down your face. I'm just here to review them and tell you if I like them or not, if it's worth going out and buying. With that being said, none of these products are groundbreaking. They're not the most phenomenal products that we've seen out there. This has all been said and done. So if you are in the market for new products, and if you want to try something new because you're running out of one, or you just have maybe a budget to buy another one and try it out, go ahead, give these a try. So let me bring you guys close and show you what this is looking like on my skin. My makeup has stayed in place all day. Let's begin with the foundation. Now the foundation has stayed in place all day, except for a little bit of my nose. It has rubbed off, and also it has settled into my fine lines on my smile lines just a little bit. And this is the area that it does, like most foundations will do that, specifically if they are hydrating, such as this one, or have skincare in them, unless I'm using like a really mattifying foundation. When it comes to the concealer itself, you guys can see it has sunken into my fine lines. Again, it's a hydrating concealer, and I didn't go in with such heavy powder because I don't tend to do that anyways on a day-to-day basis. Same thing goes with the creasing on the eyelids with the eye blush tint. This is one of the few ones that actually has creased on my eyelids. I didn't apply any primer, but I have eyeshadow sticks and eyeshadows in general, like cream eyeshadows, that don't crease. So if you are looking to buy this one, if you have oily eyelids or you're just prone to creasing, I would just use a primer underneath. So I could make this work, but then again, I kind of feel that there's other products in the market similar to this that don't require a setting base or a primer. Now let's move on to the mascara, which is my favorite. Like, it's stayed put. Like, it is fluttery. It's given me volume. The curl has maintained itself despite this being a non-waterproof mascara. I really am interested now in their waterproof version if they have it. I think I will pick that up. This is really, really nice. And I don't say that about mascaras lightly. I'm very surprised with this one. It's a great buy. And finally, the Milk Cheek and Lip Skin Tint. I really like this. Like, it's been all day, like 8.5 hours, and I have not had to retouch this at all, other than a little bit on my lips that I did right now because obviously I was drinking and eating, and some of it rubbed off, but not bad at all. Like, I think this and the mascara are my star products today. When it comes to the foundation and the concealer, they're both a hydrating quality. So I will say, if you are oily skin, this is just may not work for you. There are so many other good mattifying products out there, but if you are somebody that likes something lightweight, everyday, sheer coverage, sheer to medium coverage-ish, then you guys will definitely appreciate this. I do like them on myself as well. One last thing, as you saw, I did not apply any setting spray on top, so this has lasted me 8.5 hours without any setting spray, and maybe like with minimal fading, if any. That's my review. That is all for this video. I will let you guys go, and I'll see you in the next one.